are here today to review Egizia, Shifting Sands. And going to go ahead and well, before we do that, hit that subscribe button so you can follow along.
And hit that notification bell.
That's right. And post some messages to us.
Please,
we'd love to hear
we'd love some
your
comments.
feedback on this. So now tell them all about this game.
So Egizia, Shifting Sands came out in 2016, I think it was. I forgot to write that date down, but that pops in my head. Board Game Geek rating is 7.7. It's a pretty good score, which I kind of agree with. It's a good game. MSRP is $49.95. Now, here's my usual apology for mispronouncing designers and the artist names. Quite a few designers on this game. Designer Achitaka or something like that. Flaminia Brasini, Virginio Gigli, Stefano Luperto, and Antonio Tinto are all the designers. The art was William Bricker, and it was published by Stronghold Games.
All right, this is a 2 to 4 player game. It's supposedly a playtime of 90 minutes, and ages 14 up recommended.
I think it took us quite a longer 90 minutes.
Well, yeah. Well, we had to learn it too.
Yeah, but do you really call it a learning game? We picked it up pretty well.
We had played this before,
yeah.
But it's been a long time, and we had Dwight had not played it.
True.
And we had a dinner break in there, and children, and yeah. I mean, I could see this being played if you knew what you were doing in 90 minutes. Otherwise, probably not. The game is overall basically a worker placement game, I guess, if you will. You're placing your boats to take action.
Yeah. Maybe more action selection, but
yeah, but
very similar.
Yeah.
So.
And you're building a tableau of cards to give you production. As far as quality of components, the cards are the primary components, I guess. Well, there's the wood pieces too, the wood bits. The cards don't have any texture; they're just basic,
and they're little
cards. They're smaller sized. They have a good thickness to them, but they're not flimsy, but they are not textured at all.
And even art wise, there's really nothing spectacular about them.
Yeah,
so that doesn't really pop out as a high quality component to it.
And there was a little confusion with the red ones that's more thematic, all this, but
true. But
the immediates having red and the production red but there's different.
It's a darker
texture.
Shade red.
Yeah, different texture.
And I would say that's probably going to be the biggest critique. Would be color blindness might be tough for some people. Although most of the iconography is pretty clear, but that red versus the red shading can be confusing.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a different picture in the background too, but to look that close, it would be tough. It would definitely be tough. Yeah. As far as the wood bits, I like the wood bits.
Yeah, the wood bits are good. You got a little boat shape. You got, your cubes for the bricks are pretty standard, but the boats look pretty neat. The player boards aren't that spectacular either. So
they're pretty basic. All in all, I'm thinking 6.5. Probably.
Yeah, I was saying 6.5 at most.
Yeah. Oh, and then the Eye of, I think it's Osiris.
Is it Osiris?
I think it's Osiris. These things are huge.
Compared to the rest of the game. Yeah,
these are supposed to be just reminder tokens to let you know to take an action. These are not going to be commonly used. Third eye.
I've opened my third eye.
You're now a dollar bill. But they're only used if you level to the point where you're on the fifth column in the what I forget what you even call it.
And I was the only one that really did the majority of the game. Randy did it right at the end. Yeah, but the colonnade. But yeah, it's way too big. Yeah. There's really no need for it.
I think if I saw this piloting one of those boats, I would turn around and go back.
Run away!
So yeah, there's no way, and then you manage to lose yours. I mean, it's like, where'd your eye go?
Well, everybody was confused. So it wasn't just me.
I was confused how you could possibly lose it. That was what I was confused about. So anyway, yeah, I think 6.5 is good on it.
Yeah, I think so too.
As far as theme goes, I mean, clearly this is Egyptian or Aztec in your case.
Whichever, yeah.
But no, I mean, this is clearly set in Egypt. You've got the pyramid building, you're building the obelisk, you got the Nile you're traveling down. They've really captured
the art on the board is really nice. Yeah. The art on the cards kind of meh.
Yeah.
But the art on the board is really, really well done.
I don't know if I would even consider the cards to be art. Again, it's iconography.
I mean, yeah, but you got the art of the dudes on there. I mean,
well, the dudes are again icons.
Yeah, it's true, but it's still art.
Well, yeah, but it's iconography.
But but the board really is a highlight of the art and the theme of the game, and it does. It does feel like it's got Egypt just seeping through it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where the shifting sands part comes from.
I don't know. Okay, I guess because the Nile.
Well, that would be shifting water.
Well, yeah, but it causes the sand to shift.
I guess
it meanders.
I don't get the shifting sands part, but it's clearly Egypt though. So, what would you rank it?
I mean, it's not like there's a story.
Yeah, there's no story to it. It's just art.
When we get to the rules, there's no cover. Matter of fact,
if you look close to the wrong game,
it's Terraforming Mars Rulebook. But we'll get to that in a minute. So it's basically there's a one paragraph in here as far as a little bit of flavor text, but that's it. That's all the theme you get, and you really, as long as you know it's Egypt, which if you look at the board, it clearly is.
But thematically, it doesn't. There's no mechanics to the game. I don't think that really pushes the theme.
You're building a pyramid, you're building an obelisk,
but that still could be anything.
Yeah. I mean, and your Sphinx is your victory point in game bonuses. I mean, there's really nothing.
It's all based off artwork, really.
Yeah,
and. I would maybe give it a 7 personally.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too. It's not like heavy in theme at all, but it is incorporating it into the gameplay.
Yeah, and like I said, the board is really nice looking.
Yeah. I mean, you could just call this Raja of Ganges too if you wanted to do that. You're traveling down the water.
I mean, and it does feel like that.
Yeah, there's definitely a Raja of the Ganges feel other than the scoring of it. That's totally different. But yeah, I think 7 is fine for theme. So on to the rule book. As we mentioned, there's no cover.
Terraforming Mars on the cover.
There's a giant ad for Terraforming Mars. Matter of fact, the box, every side of the box has an ad for
you think maybe it was made by Stronghold Games?
I'm pretty sure, because every game that they're advertising is a Stronghold game. So yeah, it's a little overdone as far as cramming ads into this. As far as the rules, they were very straightforward. There was really no confusion. There was a few questions on a few things that trigger, but we were able to find them in the rules. So we didn't have to go online for anything.
Right, and I think a testament to the rules and just the overall gameplay is we picked it up. We did play this a while ago, but we picked it up in less than a turn. It was really easy to pick back up.
Yeah, and it's not really that hard of a game.
It really isn't.
It looks a little more intimidating than it really is, and
there's a little bit more strategy than what you might initially think, but it's not deep though.
But yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with these rules other than the fact that, again, I hate when they don't have a cover page
or a cheat sheet. But you really
there is in a sense it's built on your player board.
That's true.
It just goes through the turn sequence,
right?
But yeah,
but that did help because it reminded us that. That cleanup phase for scoring that we would have forgotten.
And it does have all the different tokens in the game and the explanations. It's not a subset of them like we've seen recently.
Or
So we have all
two of them.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
We have all the cards for the statues. We have all the tokens that are for the colonnade. We have all the cards for the Sphinx. They're all in here. And all of the cards that are used on the Nile cards.
Okay.
So it covers pretty much every base. I'm going to give this a 9.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
I probably would have gone 10 if it had a cover page, honestly. That just really annoyed me. And if they hadn't blatantly advertised.
Yeah, if they weren't trying to shove Terraforming Mars down my throat.
Yes.
I mean, we already have it, but that's not the point.
It's like, did I put these rules in the wrong box? All right, now on to gameplay. As far as
this is the best part of the game.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I when we first saw it, I immediately was thinking of the Imhotep, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be a light game. And then I remembered the game. I'm like, oh yeah, this is a game. I really enjoyed this one. So basically, you have the Nile that you run down, which is kind of the driver for the sequence of turns, and there's cards that are played. There are Nile cards all the way up and down.
There's really 2 sides.
Yeah,
one side is cards, one side is actions.
And there's pre-printed ones on the board you use for the first round,
Right.
and then the actions get sequenced, resequenced.
Yeah.
And
you get these little tokens, and you shuffle those tokens and replace the spots.
And then the cards are replaced every round.
Mm-hmm.
So as you travel down, you choose where you're going to place a ship on. You can go anywhere you want on the Nile. If you want to, go jump all the way to the end of the Nile.
Right.
But you're going to lose opportunity because you cannot go back up the Nile.
Unless you got a card that allows you to cheat.
Yeah.
And there is one.
I believe there is one, yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as movement, you're going to place, you don't move the boats once you place them. You're going to place additional boats. And you start out, I think, with 9 boats.
So. And that's all you get. There's no way to get more.
Yeah. So you're not going to get to play more than that. But it's very hard to play all of them because your opponents are going to be taking spaces. So you're going to want to sometimes jump ahead just to claim that space that's really critical.
Really want, yeah.
Like the last round was critical for me. I managed to pull off a 1-point victory over Rob because I got the right spots. And if I hadn't jumped ahead and did what I did, I wouldn't have gotten it. So basically, you're going to place and you're going to claim the card if you play on the card. Or you can play on an action. Nobody else can go to the same spot as you, other than there's 3 building spots on the board where you can build the icons of Egypt,
but it's even that's limited. So in a 4-player game, there's only 3 spots.
Yeah. So the first building spot will let you build the obelisk or the colonnade, or both. You can actually apply to do both. But your building is limited based upon you've got 3 or 4 workers on your player board. They're different colored. And you have stone. Now, even though there's 4 colors of workers, that really
is meaningless.
Yeah, there's really only 3 because you have yellow, green, and blue. Purple is a special worker that actually just accents the other ones.
It's a multiplier.
So, well, not really a multiplier. It's an adder.
Yeah, but still, it multiplies the effect.
Yeah, so if you wanted to do something that cost 8 power, or in this case, I guess I'll put it there, 8 power, you could trigger your 5 level and your 3 level purple.
Because it's purple.
And add them together to trigger 8 level of power.
And then based off of where you're doing, you could do update stone and do different things.
Yes. So if you're building an obelisk, you build from the bottom up because it'd be hard to build from the top down. If you're building an obelisk, it would not be.
I don't know. Ancient Egypt, they had the alien technology and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't think even with alien technology, architecture-wise, you'd want to build it top down. You might get crushed.
Maybe. There's
this thing called gravity. All right, and then as far as the colonnade, apparently gravity doesn't apply there because these are sequential by color going across, so everybody has an opportunity to build each pillar, but you can actually be yellow and build at the top, which you did.
I did that.
And you can build all the way across. So here you build left to right, and you get abilities as you go across at different points in it. So like at the 3 level, you get a yellow token ability, which gives you a special perk. Mm-hmm. At 5, the 5th column, you get another perk, which is purple, which is where these tokens come in because these are large tokens. These to remind you that you can use it multiple times during the game in some cases. And then at the end, you get a victory point bonus if you reach the end. So that's the top build. The second build lets you build the pyramid or build the statues. The statues give you in-game scoring bonuses similar to what the Sphinx cards do, which we'll get to in a minute. But they give you have to level them up. Right. And you can build 1 level per card per time you go to the build. So you could build all 3 level 1s if you wanted for 3 stone and 3 worker.
But you can't build a level 1 and a level 2 of the same statue.
Exactly. And then the pyramid, you work cooperatively with your opponents to build the pyramid, but you have to build it from the bottom up again, because darn gravity. But in this case, you just have to have basically the 2 foundations below if you want to build above it. So you don't have to build all the way across to level 1.
But if you want to build the whole pyramid, you've got to go all the way on the bottom and build each row up.
Yeah.
That's huge points.
Yes, it is. Everything you're doing is scoring you points along the way, except for the in-game scoring from the statues. The Sphinx cards are pure in-game bonuses, but you have to meet the criteria of them. Same as the statues, you have to meet the criteria of them to get points.
But the Sphinx cards are way various. It can be all kinds of different stuff. So a lot of the ones that I got were completely useless. I didn't score anything off of them.
Right. But the building phase happens after all of the placements have done. Then before you build, there is a stone quarry phase where you get to mine for stone. So any of these stone cards, you start the game with 1 that gives you 3.
Right.
And then during the game, the cards along the Nile will give you additional production for stone and a production for wheat. Stone is going to be what you use for building all these things. So stone is very important. But wheat is also equally very important because your workers, as they grow up in strength, need more food. And if you can't pay it, you have to pay a severe penalty at times.
So your combined power of all your workers, that's how much food you got to get. And if you can't meet that, then you will lose victory points.
Yes, and you start out losing 3 points per food that you're short.
Per food.
Yeah, so it can be huge if you start building up your strength on your workers before taking into account food. And here's the kicker: there's 3 levels of cards in the game for production of food: green, yellow, and red. Green is always production. It will trigger no matter what. There's conditional weather during the time where it will start producing more on yellows or on reds in addition to the green.
Like it's taking into account droughts or something like that.
So, and the thing is, other players can manipulate that.
Yes.
So, Rob cost me 5 points in the last round. Could have almost cost the game for me, because he lowered the threshold to the point where only green would produce, and all my yellow didn't produce food for me.
And he would have been able to score points off this.
So I would have gotten points, but more importantly, I lost points because I didn't have enough food to feed all my workers. So it's very important to keep an eye on your food level when you're building your workers up. So there's a lot to consider in this game. So you play 5 rounds of going down the Nile and triggering all of the effects, and 5 rounds of building. You get bonuses for building in multiple areas at once, and at the end of the game, you get bonuses for whoever's got the most in the pyramid. You get you get your in-game bonus points.
You get bonuses in the colonnade, whoever completes it first, or gets furthest by the end of the game.
Yeah, well, you get bonuses for reaching the end, not for getting the furthest. And then these along the way, the obelisk gets points.
Yeah, obelisk, like the pyramid, you just score just straight up victory points, but there's no in-game bonus, whereas the pyramid does.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the game. I mean, there's not a lot more to it.
No, but it's a straight up point salad game. If you like point salad, which if you watch any of our videos, you know that's Randy's favorite type of game is a point salad. So he was right at home at this. I really enjoyed it as well.
And in-game scoring.
In-game scoring.
That's,
got both.
That's where I got most of my points is the in-game.
Yeah, he got over 30 points in just, I think, didn't he, 25, something like that?
I got more than that because I got 20 for this and I got 21 for these.
Yeah.
So it jumped me up almost a whole lap around the track in just the in-game scoring, which is the only way I was going to catch you because you had already almost lapped us again.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's a big swing in the game. You've got to take into account and kind of keep an eye on what other players are doing because you can have somebody you think you're winning and then at the end you're just.
I thought I was going to lose it, but I didn't know it was going to be as close to the game as it was. I thought that I was going to lose by quite a bit more because he had all those in-game scoring, and then I didn't have any in-game scoring. I think I had a total of 16 in-game points, and he scored over 50. So it was just crazy.
Yeah, but you had a lot during the game.
Yeah, but during the game, I was scoring a bunch of points.
So I mean, you can. I don't think one strategy is going to win it for you. There's a lot of ways.
If I would have just maybe built one more thing on the obelisk, or maybe got something more on the pyramid, it'd have been a different story.
Yeah, and all you have to do is one decision in the last round can throw it. I mean, if you had not stopped at one location, you might have been able to do exactly that. So it's really hard to decide. You kind of have to play poker with your opponents and kind of guess what they're going to do as far as their actions going down the Nile. I know that there's several times during the game I'm like, well, I know Miranda's going to do this, which will leave me an opportunity to get to build, so I can go ahead and gamble and take this action. But there was always the risk that they would not do that and jump all the way down and take the space, and then you're.
And that's one of the reasons why I like the game as much, because there's that, and plus you can always look at your players' boards to see how much stone they got and what kind of workers they got. Because if they're flipping them over and they don't have enough stone, you can say, man, I want to be able to utilize that and be able to build more in the pyramid or be able to get more Sphinx cards because they're not going to have that ability to.
Yeah, and there is one little kind of a action you can take where if there's only 3 spots in an area for building, but you can basically put your boat into a reserve spot that doesn't exist on the board, but just set it down there. And if for some reason they run out of stone and they can't, or run out of workers and they can't trigger, sometimes
they bump in there.
And their eyes are bigger than their stomach. They get removed from the game from that spot.
From that action, and then you can take it.
And then you can take it. So you might get lucky and be able to sneak in and get an action. So there's risk in doing it. The other thing is if people are rushing down to get to spots and you decide, well, I don't really need those spots that bad.
You can kind of meander and be able to get a whole lot more stuff out of it.
Yeah, which Dwight did once very effectively.
He did a really well job. I mean, I kind of did it the last turn too. Yeah. I played all but one of my boats. And so just because I was able to take advantage of all the spots that you guys skipped, trying to get down to building in the pyramid and getting your in-game scoring cards.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a well-balanced game.
It really is.
I do really enjoy this, and I always forget it. It's another one. It's downstairs. I always forget it. It's almost like the downstairs area.
Right. It's almost out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, we're starting to get to the point, though, we're getting down there more. Right. But, yeah, it's kind of the dungeon. It used to be where we did all of our gaming at the old house. But with Miranda, she for whatever reason, likes sunlight. Who knows? Don't understand it. So we play upstairs.
We're vampires. She's not.
Yeah, so we don't technically go down into the true Nerdvana very often.
Right.
It's because the Nerdvana was historically the basement.
Just the basement.
But now it's the whole house. So that's where most of our games are. So there's all these ones that are in the game vault down there. I call it now.
But this is a good one.
Yeah,
this really is good. So, what overall game? What would you score this?
I keep being given 9s lately, but I really feel like this is a 9-level game.
I agree. I mean, it's fun. There's lots of things to do in it, and there's a lot of tension in it, and it's not overly hard or complicated. No. It's a really good balance. And I mean, I wouldn't say it light, but I think it's a straight middleweight game.
Yeah,
it's not heavy at all.
No, it looks more complex than it is, and it's
only
really
because there's a lot of bits on the
looking.
board.
Yeah.
But when you just take away all of that, it's really not a whole lot to it.
It's not a table hog.
It's not.
You can play it on this table size easy. It's well designed for the size of what it is, and
there's a lot of variety because you've got different in-game scoring, you got different statues that come out. There's a lot of variety to it, so that makes it even better.
Yeah, I mean. I think that that Stronghold has done a lot of really nice quality games,
and this is definitely
even though they like to plug themselves a lot.
Right. So no, this isn't Terraforming Mars, but this is a solid game.
Well, it might be Terraforming Mars. We don't know.
They make other games, believe it or not, and this is definitely a good one.
Yeah, this is one I would encourage you if you've not seen this. Go
I
check it
recommend
out. If you have seen it and you've been on the fence about it, just go ahead and pull the trigger. It's a good game.
And it's in print, so you can still get it.
Okay, well, that's even better.
So $49.95.
Yeah. Or probably better in some places.
Yeah, some places. So.
All right. Well, that is Egizia, Shifting Sands. So, again, hit that subscribe button. Follow us along because we're going to be playing lots more games.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to miss out. Might have your favorite game coming up. Who knows? Or when you don't know, maybe be your next favorite.
You can only hope. Yeah, I keep watching them.
Yep.
So, all right.
Bye. Bye.
No, let's just make sure we're all in frame. I hate not knowing. Roll much,
I got my comb stuck on the side of the thing. Almost tore my pants sitting down in the chair in addition to moving it across the board.